Here's an oil stain about this wide, all the way from my driveway, all the way up in front of the neighbor's house. The girlfriend Taylor said, she's like, the cops are coming. I said, I know, I saw him. He's like, well, we got reports of you dumping oil down the storm drains. All right, guys, welcome back to Daily Driven Death Traps. Well, you know me, I'm Sean. We got Alex back here too. So we're in my house in a different town than we're used to filming in. Now, I haven't been around for a while due to the fact of been kind of, what, like 60 miles away, Alex? Round trip?
Yep.
60 miles away.
Basically, yeah.
So I've been 60 miles away, which has kind of limited our time to record, and I'm terrible about recording things as it is.
I gave him the GoPro 3 months ago.
Gave him the GoPro 3 months ago, and I haven't used the damn thing. So, long story short, first we're going to give you a tour of the house I bought, and now is going to be, well, another rental house of mine, but it's basically a suburban house. We know that car guys don't like suburbia, but it has the garage. This is basically a 30 by 40 garage underneath the living quarters. Okay, now I don't know if we want to see the living quarters. That's up to my guy behind the camera. We can look up there. But let's just say the house was built in 2019. You can imagine it yourself. It's very nice inside. So what I'm going to run through today is why or why not to buy a house that is on top of your shop. So first of all, you know, it is a fantastic house up top. It's brand new. It's very, very great for, let's say, your wife or girlfriend. Now, you guys out there, I don't know if you care about nice living quarters or not. I know after living in a bunch of shanties, starting out with my rentals, I wanted something nice. So, came here. House is fantastic upstairs, beautiful. Now, and then the icing on the cake was, as you see here. So this shop measures 30 by 40 basically. It's basically the same thing Alex and I had in the country at the acreage. Now, what sets this apart from that one, it slopes back down to the driveway, and then as well as it has this massive pole in the center. Now this massive pole is holding up 3/4 of the house. Here's a twin or a triple LVL up there holding this up. So this kind of is a mother trucker to get around. So as you see, the 29's back there, the Belvedere's back there. I did have the Fox Body Mustang sitting right there, which is now, you'll see. And then obviously this has been the working quarters right here. So it has plenty of space, and it is fantastic to have. Now, it kind of limits, at that time it wasn't heated, so I did add this heater. It's just a radiant heater, and this maintains like 50 degrees throughout the whole winter, which is awesome because even the living quarters upstairs, that brings some heat down, which is heat rises, but it also has a radiant effect from the ceiling. So it does cause it to be a bit cheaper for your energy bill. So energy bill wise, I would recommend it because, you know, as long as you keep this slab at 50 degrees or more, you're gonna maintain that all year round, which is fantastic, saves you money. You have a nice warm space to work in.
Crawl around.
To crawl on the ground and swim in the old dirt. So you gotta realize, you get home and your home is somewhere where, you know, you wanna chill out. Psychologically, you know, this is something interesting where when you get somewhere comfortable, you wanna be comfortable in that area. So let's say you sleep in that area, you wanna go to sleep. You have a couch upstairs in your living room, you wanna chill out on your couch. Now, that being said, I have the opportunity to either go in the garage or go upstairs. Most of the time, after a long day's work, you kind of want to vibe out and you're already upstairs in your comfortable mood and you don't want to come down here, which has been kind of a negative. But that being said, you can also come down here at 3 in the morning, not have to go outside and be cold. So
that's the one problem I have at my house.
And Alex is
to
very
walk
cold
outside.
So separating yourself from your living quarters, I would highly recommend. That gives you a sense of, hey, I'm here to work, I'm here to do something, rather than being upstairs and being like, I'm here to loaf around, I'm here to eat dinner, and I'm here to go to bed, you know? So it's a positive and negative. Now, we're gonna get to the negatives here, because that's actually outweighs the positives as much as I hate to say it. So, first of all, we're just gonna open the garage door and you can see the main negative.
EcoBoost?
Oh, yeah. A GMC? Okay, so if you look that way.
Suburbia.
And you look that way.
Or suburbia.
And then we shut the door, because that's the most disgusting part. This house is in a metro area, and there's a lot of suburban houses. And as you can see, the YouTube community and actually car community whole, really, as much as I hate to say it, does not get along with your typical crowd of human beings. We kind of set ourselves apart because we're a little bit more dirty, a little bit more loud. But it's been kind of a slight battle on, not really, it's not been as bad as some guys. Some guys will have their, you know, a straight piped turd bag Mustang. And they'll be starting it up, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning, have neighbors filling their, you know, mufflers with foam and crazy stuff like that. I haven't had that. I've just had a couple opportunities where I've had to talk to the local police on different matters that have happened.
Have you?
Yes,
I've never heard of that.
So,
do tell.
So, okay. So here's a white GMC out there, which we might touch base in the next video. Completely rebuilt it. Bought it from an auto auction. So I was on my first drive with that truck. Pulled it out of the driveway, and so the radiator has the tranny cooler lines and the oil cooler lines going to it. So one of the oil cooler lines wasn't fastened all the way, my own fault. Pulled out of the driveway, and it popped. Now, I didn't know this until I drove down the road about maybe a block, and I said low oil pressure. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I forgot to plug in the sensor. So I pulled over really quick, and then I started back up, and it said low oil pressure again. I'm like, oh, that's something's wrong. So I get out of the truck. Here's an oil stain about this wide, all the way from my driveway, all the way up in front of the neighbor's house, and it probably poured 1.5 gallons of oil on the ground. Not only was I freaking out that I might have grenaded a brand new engine, I was also freaking out because there's an oil stain the size of Egypt on the ground. So run to O'Reilly's and we grab a bunch of oil dry. Here's one bag still over there, and we get out in my red Dodge pickup, and I sit on the tailgate and I start going like this, and we go all the way down the road cleaning up the oil. Now we're about halfway done, and I see a police car turn into the neighborhood. I'm like, here we go. So I basically knew at that point. The girlfriend Taylor said, she's like, the cops are coming. I said, I know, I saw them. So I'm continuing to clean up. I'm, you know, doing the old freaking, you know, wipey wipe. And the cops pull up, park, and I'm like, oh, here we are. And he's like, hey, how's it going? I said, I'm doing all right, I guess. And he's like, well, we got reports of you dumping oil down the storm drains.
What the fuck?
Now, I would accept this, but the storm drain's actually in front of my house all the way down here, and there's no oil next to it. As well as it was all the way down at the other end of the road, and we weren't dumping oil in it. And we were actually cleaning it up. So, long story short, one of the nice human beings that live in the neighborhood decided to call the cops and say we were dumping oil down the drain just to get us in trouble for no apparent reason. Is that messed up? I would say that's humanely not right, but again, they don't like car guys. I've had antique cars. We'll show you outside here in a minute. I've had antique cars sitting outside. I had a big, massive driveway poured on the side of the house that's like 70 foot long. I've had old cars sitting out there, and these people don't like anything that has anything like this. So they're gonna find any reason not to like you. As well as the utility bed truck you guys have seen on the channel before. It dumps a little oil, and here's a bunch of oil stains in my driveway. My own fault, but people also don't like that just because it makes them think that you're trash in the neighborhood. In reality, I pay the same taxes, and I probably don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of credit card debt like them. That's the main negative. Now, the next kind of negative is that it's, you know, a car guy, especially of an antique stature, wants to have their car, you want to set shit outside. You know what it is. You want to kind of put stuff outside. You got something with, like, let's say you have an engine pulled, you want to set the car outside. You can't do that here just because, you know, morally, in my mind, yeah, I'm not going to, like I just got talked about, I don't want to offset, you know, taxes and stuff. I don't want to make the neighborhood look trashy just because that's who I am. Am I going to park the Bronco outside and let her rip tater chip? Fuck yeah. But but you can't really store things as easy as you'd like. I can't store my car trailer as easy I like next to the house. You get a lot of dirty looks when you're outside. That's kind of the next thing. But you can't really store anything outside or around the house, or else it's not like right per se. If you're in a smaller community, let's say in a rural community like we're in, it's fine. Everybody does that. Most houses are actually falling down because they take too much meth and they don't do anything with their houses. So that's fine in that community, but not here. So, like I just touched on, the next thing is kind of dirty looks. So I never knew. I came from 2 miles north of a rural community in the country. Nobody looked twice at you. Everybody minded their own business, you know. And you come down here and people sit out front of their garages. You know, some people watching this might do the same thing. I'm not saying anything negative about you, but they sit out front of their garages and they're just watching. Like they just watch and stare, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, and I'm not a person that gets uncomfortable about a lot of things, but I just get really awkward feeling, as well as everybody has a labradoodle or a doodle. Everything's a damn doodle around here, and everybody has a home sign.
I have a doodle.
Even Alex has a doodle. But everybody has like a welcome home sign. So it's like a cult, and I can't do it. But I just went on a tangent for no reason. So anyway, other reasons why living quarter on top on top of your garage. One of the main negatives is, let's say one day I was pulling the Belvedere in here and it had a gas leak. Gas leaked all night. And I woke up the next morning with a raging headache, and the whole house smelled like gas. And it was bad. It took days to air that. It took days to air it out, like a while. Next being, even the last couple of days, I have this rear end torque part here, 4 9-inch, and gear oil stinks.
Gear oil sucks.
Oh, it smells so bad. And it smelled pretty much like gear oil every time you get inside the house, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Hey, just put some black ice upstairs.
Yeah, just hang black ice everywhere. I think I have some in here, and I should just open the doors. Long story short, though, other than it smells, you're also going to have a lot more dust. Now, this is crazy to me because the dust and smells are interesting because this is a completely sealed space. Now, to pass, I did build houses for a while, and to pass everything, you have to have everything very well insulated, even your garage space, because there's plumbing and everything running throughout the ceiling, in the ceiling. So to get the smell and to get the dust upstairs just blows my mind, because that door is also weather sealed. So for that to happen, it just is kind of an interesting thing. But I think it's because there's another weather sealed door, but that's where your furnace is at, and here's an intake in there. So the intake brings in some of the dust. It is right there. Yep, right next to all my crap. So the furnace filters fill up so fast. I mean, I probably change them each month, and they go quick. So we'll just wrap up here, because this is probably being a quicker video. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you're a hobbyist. Not if you're like just a light hobbyist. You have some rigs. Here's a gentleman, here's 2 more houses kind of similar to this, and they have like little import rigs and stuff like that. They're not pulling engines. They're not doing rebuilds. They don't have 1966 Belvedere that leaks gas. They don't have stuff like that. I would get it if you had Corvettes, you had Mustangs, and you had stuff like that, and you had a couple buddies. The other reason this isn't really a family-friendly house is here's a stairway that is literally 96.5 miles long. Excuse the mess here. So you're not gonna like that for your kiddos. But long story short, yeah.
Well, I mean, you get to open the door to
You get to look at cool shit.
to a bunch of non-working.
No, for real. But no, it's for somebody that is, let's say an old, I won't even say older crowd, because that's hard because they can't go upstairs. But
Well, it's just like you said. It's
a new
people
car
that-
hobbyist.
Yes.
You could agree with that.
Yeah.
New car.
Not
hobbyist.
doing, engine swaps and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a few cool cars that are finished, basically.
Exactly.
If you're only going to do like exterior modifications and stuff like that, that's good garage for it.
And the other, that's another thing. If you're doing exterior modification, if you're doing body work, you got to mind the dust, and you got to mind stuff like that. And it's just so hard because you got to put a fan in the back window and let
It's
it all
not as
air out.
much as it would be if you're like grinding down a frame or something, though.
Oh yeah, at GX.
Yep.
Well, let's show them the garage, that driveway real quick.
That's what my garage is for.
Yeah.
That's what's going on right
See,
now.
that's why I miss our old garage, because remember how dusty it got.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the slab I poured, and as you can see, all the oil stains already. This is brand new of, I don't know, last August. And here's some lumber and stuff there, and here's some stuff here, which is kind of frowned upon around here.
Is that an air box?
No, that's a grass collector. Another thing here in these neighborhoods that is similar that everybody has to have. But yeah, and then I was gonna build this little thing, but got a lot of dirty looks building that too, so I decided just to not build that. What that? That was gonna be a she shed. It was a monster she shed. I built it too tall as well. It was about as tall as the deck. Don't ask me. I don't know. But this is a nice addition. If people have like, I could get my car trailer.
Didn't you do that in like the first 2 weeks that you had this place?
Day. Called the concrete company, said, hey, come on out.
And it started from right here where this line is?
No, this is all new too.
Oh shit, okay.
So this side approach was brand new as well. Which this was a super nice addition for the car guy for a house. I don't know how people do it without large amounts of storage, but that is the house.
There's the GMC too.
And honestly, if you kind of compare, that's a large truck. Those are 2 full-size trucks and a Mustang. That's a pretty good size. It is a massive house. That's a box.
Who's gonna call us for?
Yeah, we're gonna get
videotaping.
Gotta go back inside.
They're pointing in our windows.
They'd heard about the doodle comment.
Uh-oh.
That's what a solid frame looks like for all you Toyota enthusiasts.
Quack.
Basically, to wrap up, don't buy a house in suburbia. If this house was in the middle of nowhere, it would be perfect. It would. For some guys. But, and because you could put an exhaust fan and everything, and that'd be absolutely amazing. But don't buy a house in suburbia if you're a car guy. If you do buy a house in suburbia for your wife, make sure it has enough land for a detached garage and a large fence. There's no stipulations on a large fence. 100% what I'd recommend. Now, signing off. Bye-bye, guys. See you next time.